Change Tomorrow Today, a radio show about good ideas for a better tomorrow. Talks with social entrepreneurs about projects that change people's lives. Change Tomorrow Today, a Rádio Miúdos.pt production for the European Investment Bank Institute.
Hi people from everywhere! This is a new episode of Change Tomorrow Today.
We're going to learn how learning a language can be much more than only learning a language. This is Speak, 40 languages being shared on dozens of countries around the world.
And today we play Home Site. It's a Portuguese project. I'm Rita from Rádio Miúdos at studios in the west of Portugal.
I am Miguel from Porto.
Change Tomorrow Today.
So, meet Teresa. So, can you explain us what do you do in the project Speak?
Yes, so my name is Teresa. I'm 26 years old and I'm a full stack marketer at Speak. And I've been working here for here in the Alf.
And when was the project created?
The project was born in 2014 in Leiria, Portugal.
How did you get the idea for the Speak project?
So Hugo is one of our Speak founders, and he was living outside of the country at the time, and he was a migrant himself. And what happens is that he started to realize that there weren't many opportunities for people that were migrants in some community. Actually could meet new people, could create meaningful bonds, and develop an informal support network that could help them have successful integration in that new community. And when he realized that, he also understood that being a privileged young man working in a new company in a new city, he started to think that maybe for others that weren't so privileged as he was, probably it would be even more difficult to have the access to these integration tools and the supports. So we decided to start Speak as a tool to actually foster the creation of these spaces where newcomers have the opportunity to share the values they bring to the community, have a space where they can meet locals and as equals, and actually not feeling that they are disempowered somehow as receivers as in most of the integration initiatives. So I think it was mostly this where the idea came from.
What is the purpose of this website?
Speak is trying to solve the problem of the social exclusion of migrants and refugees, and we are doing that by connecting migrants, refugees and locals that are living in the same city through language groups and cultural exchange activities. And with that, we are trying to actually make sure that newcomers feel more integrated in the cities where they live, more empowered, and that we are pushing the boundaries of diversity and equality in the communities where we are present.
How can people sign up?
Anyone can join the Speak community. You just have to be over 18, and you can go to our website, our platform, and just create an account. And then if you see a language group that you want to join or a language that you want to learn, you can join a language group online for now. And if you want to be part of a Speak event, you just need to go to the website and check the events that we have available now. And if you find one that you find interesting, just join us.
How many languages are there available to learn?
So we have above 40 languages being shared at our community, so many different languages, and basically anyone that joins our community, and we have more than 40,000 people from last year, can actually share their own language. So we have above 160 nationalities. So I would say that there are many different languages, but we have more than 40 being shared right now at the community.
What are language groups and how do they work?
Okay, so language groups are groups where we use the motivation that people, locals, migrants or refugees have to learn a language, and we put all of these people at the same place with the same goal, to learn a language. And here we have two different roles. We have the participants, so the ones that want to learn a language, and we have the buddies, the ones that are sharing their language and culture with others. And what happens is that for 1 hour and a half, they actually have the chance to learn more about that language, to learn more about that culture, and at the same time, through different games and dynamics that we have, people can actually create meaningful bonds between each other. So our aim is not only to learn a language, we use that as an excuse or as a tool to connect people, and through our methodology, so these games and dynamics, they get to know each other very well. They get to learn what you like to do, who you are besides your cultural or your personal experience and background, and create bonds of friendship, of loyalty. And it's our aim to build a safe space where everyone can be themselves and share the things they believe in. At the same time, they learn a language and they are able to actually create an informal support network.
What do people learn during the learning sessions?
During a speak language group, we use a methodology that is validated. And in this methodology, you have different games and then dynamics where you can actually learn a language. Of course, that's the purpose of the group. But while you are learning a language, actually you are sharing your taste, the things that you like to do, who you are, where you come from, your own cultural background. And with that, actually what happens is that you are creating, without realizing that, meaningful relationships with one another and the other members of your group.
How much do people pay to join a class?
So we have a fee for the language groups of 29 euros up to 35 euros. And what happens here is that anyone can join a language group, and in this fee it's included 12 sessions of 1 hour and a half each. So you can learn for a total of 18 hours this new language. And if you for some reason can't pay, we have scholarships that anyone can apply. And for sure, it will not be because you can't afford these language groups that you will not join our community. So if you need, you just need to apply for the scholarships that we have available.
And for the teachers, what's the minimum requirement for them to teach the classes?
We don't have teachers at PIC. We have buddies, and we don't have classes. We have language groups because we are not a language school. And what happens is that everyone can be a buddy at Speak. So you just need to have this will to actually meet new people and share your own language and culture with others.
Who already knows a little of a language can also participate?
Yeah, so you can actually be a participant if you understand the basics of a language. You can join us in the different levels. So we have 4 different levels, from basic 1, basic 2, basic 3, and conversation. So you can choose the level that it's the most appropriate for you and your knowledge of that language. And at the same time, you can be a buddy. So actually, if you are a buddy and you share your language at the same time you are learning another one, you won't pay to join a language group. So it's an exchange. And with that model, you can join to learn, no matter your level, just choose the one that is appropriate for you. But at the same time, you can be a buddy and share your language and culture with others.
You already say, but what are buddies and ambassadors, and how can people become that?
So buddies are the ones that are sharing their language and culture with others. And then we have the ambassadors that are the ones inside of the community, in the local community. So Speak has different communities in different cities. And these are people inside of the community that are responsible to organize different language or cultural exchange events. We have several events going on every month, and the ambassadors are the ones that are organizing and mobilizing the community to be part of this event.
What is Speak chapters?
Speak is scaling on a social franchising model, and the social franchising model is really similar to the regular model, the regular commercial model, in which someone can start a Speak chapter in their own city and be a social entrepreneur, and at the same time they have the full support, the technology and the all the access to our community to be able to implement that Speak chapter. And we call this Take Speak to Your City program. And so if you are someone that is proactive, that shares the same mission of diversity, equality, and acceptance that we do, and you have this will to be a social entrepreneur, you can actually start your own Speak chapter in the city where you live. Of course, there's a recruitment process, and it is important that we have the right fit between the social entrepreneur and Speak. And after that process, if everything is in place, you can then start your own Speak journey and implement Speak in that city using our tech, our resources, and our methodology.
With COVID-19, how have you been acting?
So we actually, since March 2020, we started an online model. So before, Speak language groups and events happen always offline, so in different local communities. But of course, with the pandemic, we have to pass everything to online, and we started to implement online language groups and online events. And since then, actually, the community has been growing a lot. We are having more than 45,000 people involved in the community right now. So it's been a challenge, and we needed to validate our methodology because the methodology was built to the offline model. And when we pass everything to online, of course, we needed to validate this. But the truth is that more than 1 year after we started the online model, it's been validated, and we are having really positive and important feedback from the community regarding this model. And the best part is that because we were online, we were able to reach people in every city in the world. So we have people in the community from Korea to Australia to Mexico, the US, Russia, Africa. So in every continent and many different cities, we have a Speak community member, and that's been one of the best parts of this online model.
What are your values and causes?
Regarding our values and the causes that we stand for, of course, everything that is related to cultural diversity and inclusion, and making sure that everyone is treated the same and respected, no matter who you are, where you come from, or what's your background and experiences. And our values and the ones that we stand for are values like purpose, like leadership, like accountability to make sure that we are accountable for the individual purpose and role that we have on society and inside our community. And when we are talking about causes, I would say that gender equality, of course, LGBTQ+, the equal rights for migrants, and everything that is related to the humanitarian crisis that we are facing all around the world, and the freedom of speech, liberty of thought, and all of those are some of the values that we stand for.
Do people learn the languages in a fun way?
Yep, at Speak, having fun while you're learning is our motto. And what happens is that, like I mentioned, we are not a language school, so our methodology is completely informal, and you have different dynamics, different games to actually learn a language and learn all about the people who are with you at that group. So yep, it's super fun to learn languages with Speak, and it's a completely different experience from the ones that are out there.
So to Speak, we are almost finished with our episode of Change Tomorrow Today.
We spoke with Teresa from Speak. It's not a school, but you can learn a language and make friends.
See you next time with more ideas already shaping our future. I'm Rita from Rádio Miúdos studio.
And I'm Miguel from Porto.
Change Tomorrow Today, a radio show about good ideas for a better tomorrow. Talks with social entrepreneurs about projects that change people's lives. Change Tomorrow Today, a Rádio Miúdos.pt production for the European Investment Bank Institute.